Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm yours truly, Mr. Marcus Scott, the former lead vocalist of the soul band Tower of Power, also known as T.O.P. I've recently toured all over the world with these guys, and I've learned so many things, so much from so many legendary musicians. What we're going to talk about today is proper mic techniques that all singers should know. First, I like to start by doing this. Something very simple. You get into the groove, you get into the moment, and you snatch the mic off the mic stand. It's a big no-no sometimes because you never know what it's going to result in. You could drop it, you could do anything with it that's uncomfortable. Give you an example. How sloppy is that? You should always be confident and you should take your time. Be absolutely sure about what you're doing. Even if you have to rehearse it before the show. That way it won't seem too scripted. You don't want to move really mechanical. You just want to be relaxed and just be confident. Check this out. Hold it gently, and you gently take it off of the mic stand. And as you do that, you can place the mic stand behind you. That way you can give the audience your undivided attention, and they won't be distracted by the mic stand being placed in front of you because you're not doing a duet with the mic stand. As you place the mic stand behind you, you're able to reach out to the audience, sing to the audience, and get a better result, a better response from your audience. Now, this is what I would normally do to place the mic back onto the mic stand gently. I would bring it towards me slightly and slide it in gently, just like that. That way you won't hear any pops, and you can go along with singing the soft ballad that you want to do, or whatever song that's next, without causing any discomfort to yourself, the band, or the audience. You want to be a team player. Next, I would like to talk about how to hold the microphone properly. Normally, in this particular area, we want to make sure that the end of the microphone is at least pointing directly towards the face of the monitors. Now, this is how I would normally do it. Hold it this way, and I would sing la 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 versus holding it like this. You stand a chance of getting any kind of feedback coming through the microphone. So the best way I would hold it and get the best results is oh, la 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 la. One thing we don't want to do is this. This is a mistake that is commonly made at rock shows, rap shows, or even at an R&B show or soul show. You may not be able to hear yourself. Instead of talking to your engineer, you go like this. Hey, 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 hey. You don't want that because it takes away from the sound. It distorts the sound, as you can see. Clap your hands if you're having a good time. Clap your hands if you're having a good time. Ladies and gentlemen, clap your hands. Woo! I'm disguising my face when I really want to cry. But that really, really hurts. And imagine the people beside you and the people behind you. Imagine your rhythm section. Imagine your background singers going through something like this. This is something that we don't want to do. We want to make sure the show goes smoothly. We want to make sure that it's great sonically for everyone. And one thing about the average audience, they love to feel involved. Simply because they are involved. They spent their money to come see you. They're looking forward to having a great time. And you want to involve them because they're the very reason why you're doing this in the first place. Besides it being your gift and your passion, without them, there is no you. If the crowd is singing along, have them sing along with you by holding the mic towards them. Now, this is very important because sometimes we get lost in the moment. We get very happy. We may see someone out in the audience who's so into the show that we tend to lose our sight. Now, this is very normal, so don't be hard on yourself. Don't be down on yourself. This is what I would normally do if I get caught into the moment. It's happened before. Ladies and gentlemen, so glad you're having a good time. Yay! Woo. And then all of a sudden, you get feedback. Feedback is a no-no. Feedback is damaging to your hearing and also the audience's hearing. And most importantly, the band that you're using. You want to be considerate of everyone that you're on stage with and everyone that you're trying to please in that moment or you're trying to entertain in that moment. That's the overall goal. You want to entertain, you want them to remember you, and you want to leave a great impression on the people. Now we're going to cover wireless microphones. I remember being in Germany And I was wondering why the crowd wasn't responding. I was singing, I was just belting out the loudest notes, but I had the weirdest looks from the audience as though they couldn't hear me. And all of a sudden, I looked back at the engineer. That's one thing that's very important. You look back at your engineer because more than likely they know exactly what's going on as far as technical difficulties. He looks at me and he says, meaning take your hands off of the antenna. So I was holding the mic this way. This absolutely disrupts the signal and it causes for your voice not to be heard. So one thing that we do not want to do is cover the antenna. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, the antenna. The results of covering the antenna. Hey, can you hear me? No, you can't. But what about now? What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's me, Marcus Scott, keeping the soul alive. I'm not covering the antenna. I'm getting the best results out of this microphone. That's the proper way of holding your cordless microphone. We want to avoid covering the antenna. So now I'd like to talk about proximity. Proximity is very important because naturally one would think you want the crowd to hear you more, so you go, oh, but it causes discomfort for the engineer that you're working with, and it also causes discomfort for you. It's not good for your hearing, and most importantly, it causes discomfort for the band that's accompanying you on stage. So that's something that you don't want to do. So the louder you sing, the more you want to stretch the mic away from your mouth. Let me give you an example. Oh, my love. Sounds really good. Oh, boy, does that hurt? Yes, it really does. So that's something that we don't want to do. Now, another thing pertaining to proximity, those intimate, soft, melancholy, gentle, quiet songs, or those quiet voices that you want to use on stage. What you would want to do is not do it this way. By you singing softer, you have the mic further away from your mouth, the audience won't hear you. Instances like this, the audience may want to sing along with you, and it could cause them to be upset because they're like, what did we pay for? We paid to hear this guy perform, and we can't hear him. So in order to get the best results, you're singing softly. The softer you sing, the closer you want to hold the mic to your mouth. I'll give you a nice example. When the world gets the best of me, seems like you get the rest of me. Every little thing that I do. Now, this is the incorrect way. When the world gets the best of me, seems like you get the rest of me. Every little thing that I do. Now, unless the crowd is completely quiet, you may get a good response, but more than likely, if they really like you and they really want to be involved in the show, you definitely want to please them and hold his mic properly. Now, keep this in mind. The closer you have the mic to your mouth, the more bass that you're going to have present. And the further away you have the mic from your mouth, the more open it's going to sound. Not saying that these things are good or bad. It just depends on personal preference. So if you're looking for more bass, bring it a lot closer. If you're looking for less bass, take it further away. These are just some good things to think about and keep in mind while you're performing, because they all are very important and vital to your performance. Let's get to one of the most vital parts of the show. Some singers like to dance, some people like to jump up and down, and some people love to stay in the rhythm of the show. Now, one thing that I do not suggest is that while you're clapping your hands, because you want to stay into the groove, I always say stay into the groove because you're a part of the show, you're a vital part of the show. But when you have the crowd clapping your hands or clapping their hands, you don't want to be a distraction to the crowd or to the band by clapping along like this. As you can see, this absorbs all of the shock from one hand to the other hand. Also, by the mic being a barrier between that, it creates a very uncomfortable noise. Because you could have jewelry on. I know I like to wear jewelry sometimes on stage. And one time I did that during a show in Japan. And boy, did it hurt. Use your arm instead of clapping your hands on the microphone. Watch the results of this. The proper way, the improper way. Last time I checked, there's not an instrument called the microphone slap. So we want to clap our arms so that we won't make any unnecessary noises throughout the performance. Okay, guys, I'd like to talk about how to communicate with your engineer. This is very important. Now, by no stretch of the imagination am I an engineer, so I'll go ahead and call Drew up. Drew, could you come on and help me out just for a sec?
Certainly. How you doing, Marcus?
Doing pretty good.
Good. Yeah, there's several ways that one can go about communicating with their engineer.
Hey, what do you mean about that?
That's typically not the way.
Okay,
yeah, so ordinarily what we do is we try to have as little impact, visual impact on the performance whatsoever. We like to be a little bit subtle. You see a lot of times an artist out there doing this to their engineer or pointing down to the speakers, like, I want to hear this here. Well, as a monitor engineer, I know you want to hear it down there because that's where your mix is coming from.
Absolutely.
Right? So you don't have to point to the speaker because I know that you're talking about that. And I can respond to some very subtle inputs. I know that you want vocal up when you give me some of this. I know you want vocal down when you give me some of this. I know that you want some bass guitar when I see this cymbal right here. I know you want guitar when I see this cymbal here. Piano. And I think it's very good if you're working with an artist to establish those particular signals. And as a monitor engineer, it's very important that you have your eyes nailed on your band, on your artist, so that when that subtlety does arise, that you can respond to it accordingly and in a timely fashion. And we don't want the audience all in on everything that we're doing up here. We want to be a little chill about that.
I like that, guys. There you have it, Mr. Drew, on how to properly communicate with your engineer. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching, and I hope these tips were very helpful. And I hope you had just as much fun as I had showing you these tips. For more information, please contact your sales engineer at Sweetwater, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Really enjoyed you guys, and as I always say, keep the soul alive.